have a role to play in all of this. In the speech delivered by the CBN governor at the NESG macroeconomic launch, he specifically said that we expect a drop or fall in the price of petroleum products. That's because we expect Dangote Refinery, Port Harcourt Refinery, and all of that to start to bridge this gap. You are the economist here. My job is to ask the questions. Do you think this will happen? And if it will happen, how soon will this happen?
Well, from the output we saw from Dangote Refinery, what we saw is still energy that does not require much heat, and the reason is very, very obvious. When you are starting, you first need to stabilize before you start producing energy that requires high level of heat, so that the company or the refinery is not overwhelmed at the initial stage. So we're going to be seeing diesel, we're going to be seeing Jet A1, as the case may be, coming out of Dangote Refinery. We need to have supply consistently to a point before the exposure we're having to FX reduce. Now, does that mean that there will be no interplay of foreign exchange at all? No, there will still be interplay of foreign exchange as long as Dangote continue to buy each crude, whether in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, and using dollar as a measure, then it's going to definitely play in. But with this reduced, as against what someone has said in a different headquarter, that whether Dangote Refinery comes up or not, it will not have any impact on pump price. I don't think that person is correct. I think that person did not really check the numbers very well. I expect the PMS prices to be stable. I think I will be comfortable with the word stable, because economics, especially pricing, is after stability. I expect it to be stable, and I also expect availability to increase. But we may also be sitting on the danger of a monopoly, because Dangote Refinery is also working with equipment. If those equipment has an issue, I can bet you the price may sporadically go too high. Now we have Port Harcourt Refinery. How soon will it come to mainstream? And with government, for the first time, now allow private sector to run it by giving at least 40 to 60% of the shares of private sector, while government retain the rest. The goal of private sector is output. Why? Because without output, there will be no profit. So it's important to have some level of competition. We can start with, if you like, a duopoly, but the goal eventually should be an oligopolistic market, where we have more persons. I also understand that government has given more licenses to people. In fact, some people have said it is because the force of demand and supply have not fully played in the PMS market. That is why Dangote is not producing petrol as we speak now. Well, I disagree with that argument. I think those persons should do a bit of study, a bit of research, I beg your pardon, on energy economics, and they can see the reasons why this is the issue. So I expect PMS price to come down, but I don't expect that to come down on the immediate. I'm looking at sometimes a beginning of second quarter, or worst case scenario, beginning of fourth quarter. What that means is Nigeria may still need to bear up to this, for a relatively longer time, or short term or a medium term. Then we can see some level of stability in PMS. That will help with planning, that will help with output for consumption and for industry, and that will help with quite a number of other things, rather than living in a volatile economy where we are not sure of what tomorrow may hold or what tomorrow may be.
But see, back to activities of the CBN, we expect the MPC meeting for February, but that's on one side. The CBN has gradually or quietly, I think that would be the right word to use, has been doing all of the sorting out, settling some debts, well, according to them, verifiable debts, of course, in FX, and been allowing some of these companies get their monies to repatriate back to their countries. Now, do you see all of these moves as the needed steps to attract investment into this country? The president keeps saying the country is open for investment. Take it away. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that Mr. Cardoso and his team have to take decision. They have to decide where to go, whether they go to the devil or they jump into the deep blue sea. The decisions are not going to be nice. And I'm sure that Mr. Cardoso and the team understood this even before they accepted the offer given to them by Mr. President. The economy is in a dire state, especially monetary component of the economy requires tough decisions to be made. You will not get fresh investors if the existing investors are finding it difficult to repatriate their fund. Now, here is the elephant in the room. If the existing investor wants to repatriate their fund, we don't even have that sufficient effects. We need to find either through crude receipts or so on and so forth to have the limited amount to share among them. And I see a team that is trying to wrestle the soul of Naira by ensuring that they have stability of some sort. So it's quite a difficult challenge to face. And when that challenge is going on and we are engaging in the contest with saving the soul of Naira, the truth is that other economic activity have to go on. That is why trade policy, I have not seen a clear trade policy that will eventually free Nigeria from economic quagmire, trade policy that will free Naira from being strangulated by the dollars. I've not seen it because eventually central bank cannot print the US dollar. Even printing Naira now is playing with the chest of the devil and say, what can the devil do, in the middle of nowhere. I think we need to allow trade authority to understand that talking trade is beyond speaking to SMEs. It also includes export promotion and export substitution. At the end of the day, the medium to long-term solution to this crisis we are faced will certainly go beyond central bank. Where central bank is finding its footing for stability, Naira may not necessarily go improving value, but what many economics are after is, can we have stability for planning, for growth, and so on and so forth. So I have seen what the central bank is doing to settle some of the bills, but I can tell you, if there are no confidence by investors that we are inviting, the truth is we might continue to still see roller coaster and uncertain environment around the FX corridor. So confidence is very key. Faith is very key. I'm on this seat talking to you because I have faith that the chair I'm sitting on will not bring me down. So people, to keep their money in Naira, they must have that confidence. They must have that faith that one of the function of money is, one of the characteristics of money is used for store of value, storability. So people must believe that if I keep my money in Naira, at least in the next 5 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, I will get the same value. It will not significantly be depreciated or emaciate in value. This is what the central bank should also put into consideration. But for them to do this, I tell you, it's going to be a triposis of some sort: the fiscal, the monetary, and the trade authority. In Nigeria, we speak so much of fiscal, and of course, everybody speaks to central bank. The question is, who is speaking to the trade authority? Because we must deliberately encourage plantation for export. We must deliberately encourage manufacturing and production, also for consumption, local consumption, and more importantly, export. If we do that, we have reduced or distorted importation, and we have promoted export out of the country. This is where our liberty lies. This is where our economic miracle, the angel of economic miracle, we are all looking for at subnational and national level, lies in plantation. It lies in manufacturing. That angel also lives where we manufacture. If we don't, I'm afraid the goal of growing Nigeria economy to GDP of 1 trillion naira may not be actualized. At best, maybe if we rebase, as we saw in some years back, we rebase the economy. While we rebase it, we have also rebased poverty, because more people certainly became poor. But we can look at it. How long did it take India from